So today on Sunny Talk Spurs, I think I have my first returning guest, someone who's willing enough to come back and talk about Tottenham and their beloved team as well. It's Manchester City fan Ciaran Carlin. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good. I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'll be honest, I'm very nervous ahead of this fixture. Usually when we play each other, I'm a bit optimistic because of our tactics, but this time with our injuries and everything that's going on at the club, I'm not looking forward to this one. But I assume you're quite jubilant ahead of this as well.
Yeah, which is the first time in years. Oddly quite confident, which I hope doesn't shoot me in the face. But yeah, I'm actually sort of looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to hopefully a normal game where we don't go 2-0 down.
I know, because we'll probably get onto this later in it, but usually we average 2 shots and win 2-0, and you average 50 shots and lose somehow. But to start, I wanted to talk about Manchester City so far this season, because again, it feels like a bit deja vu to last year, where everyone says, well, you've started slow, you haven't clicked yet, Pep keeps tinkering. Do you buy into all that? Do you think you've started slow, or do you reckon this is just City's way now of just sort of easing into a season, seeing how it all plays out, seeing if Liverpool, Arsenal and that are going to keep pace with them and, be their rivals as well?
I think it feels like possibly our best slow start to a season. Because, even when it's slow, we're 1 point off Arsenal at the top. And, yeah, there's something about, especially after last year, where in January and February, there's articles and everything being like, what's wrong at City? And, being like, is this the beginning of the end? Are United in the title race? No, never. So, and then I was like, oh, it's game over. Okay, we're finally going to lose one. And then we won it. And then we did then I held the little belief, much like Gary Neville, being like, oh, but City, when it comes to it, they're going to win like 10 to 15 in a row. So as long as we're there or thereabouts by, the end of December, then I'm usually pretty confident that we'll win 10 to 15 in a row at the end. And until we don't do that, I'll just always believe that that's possible. So
Yeah.
I'm not concerned yet.
And that's the thing. I was saying to someone the other day, I think at TalkSport, like City are, I think, the best chasers when it comes to like league in world football. Like probably in the history, I've never seen a team be more comfortable in that chaser position than leading. A lot of teams are more confident being the leaders, but it seems to be you just like the challenge of like narrowing points, and especially you've done it with Arsenal, you've done it with Liverpool in the past. It's just Pep seems to get into his opponents' heads. But on the flip side now, the opponents of the weekend are Tottenham, obviously. How do you see Tottenham's season so far? 10 games, they were looking, slick, playing sort of this inverted system that, City do as well. And then it's all gone a bit Pete Tong, injuries, suspensions. From talking to me, I think we're in a bit of a crisis at the moment. But, what have you made of Spurs and what have you made of Ange Postecoglou as well?
Ange has unbelievable Australian tax. What a bloke! You'd struggle to find someone who doesn't like him. He's unbelievably likable, and there's no part of me that I just can't hate him. Well, let's see after the weekend. But no, you've been good, but I also feel like you're only 4 points off. You're only 3 points off us. But goal difference very different. 2 points off third. That's what I'll give you. But I feel like, I don't know. It's hard to sort of say because now you've lost an unbelievable. I'll give you credit. You do have a serious amount of injuries, which I've not quite seen before. But before that, you were winning games, but it didn't feel like, from what I can remember, I could be completely wrong, but it felt like quite late. Like, it didn't feel like dominating games. I felt like there was a fair few sort of, you're getting by. Like, you got through, you won it, but you could have easily not.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of agree with you to some point, like Sheffield United, for example. But I'd say in these games we did dominate. We did have more chances, like Luton as well, like down to 10 men, and we still, I was say, still beat them. Like Luton aren't, we should be beating Luton, but yeah, it's been a few of like even the wins were like like 2-0 against Bournemouth. We did dominate them. I think we've just seen like Villa was the perfect example of. It was like those games, but we just didn't take our chances. And I don't know if that's because the chances weren't clear-cut enough or, we keep doing the City thing of we want to keep cutting it back. And it's like, just shoot. Just pull the trigger like Kulusevski's got to shoot. And you get frustrated, especially when you're in the stadium because it's such better football to watch than it was last season. But there's still, you can see there's final pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that, in those first 10 games, people were talking about us as title rivals, and we'll go on to title rivals in a bit, but that's why I said we weren't, because you can tell we're at this beginning of a process, and it's just, it shows the players have done so well so far because they've implemented this system already, but they're still, they've still got to finalise it. It's not at the final stages of what it could be. But moving on then, City obviously won the treble last season. 3 magnificent trophies that a Tottenham fan would love to see our side lift. Do you reckon you could retain all 3, 2, 1? Ooh. How do you see it going?
I oddly feel like the one we're most likely to retain, I might say the Champions League.
Really? I mean,
I just think because I don't know, because there's so much the element of luck that's involved.
It's been poor this year, the Champions League. I'd say there's not really. I mean, apart from you and Bayern, you seem to be standing out, but then you've got max points, and I think Bayern dropped points against Copenhagen. So
I'm not convinced about Bayern at all. I reckon even Liverpool in the Europa League beat Bayern, if I'm honest.
Wow.
I reckon, do Arsenal beat Bayern?
Oh, Real Madrid got max points as well.
I'm not convinced about Bayern at all. I watch some Bundesliga, and I do tend to watch the Bundesliga. Well, I watch the Bayern highlights just to see Kane, to be honest. I just find it so fascinating that he's there.
I don't watch it because I don't want to see
him. But the defending is absolutely appalling, but more goals, so it's fun. No, I feel like the Champions League is probably... I just feel like because we've managed to finally do it, we've hopefully broken that sort of... We managed to get to the final, and then the horrifying experience against Real Madrid the year after, and then we went... And then it was pretty much... Everyone was like, okay, they're going to get to the final this year again. This they have to win it this year. And then we did. And then I feel like against the Real Madrid one, it's like, okay, we should have got to the final, realistically. So I feel like... Yeah, as long as we still got Haaland and Pep Guardiola, I don't see anyone who's better. But then I also feel like we'll retain the league. I'm going to say we'll get 2.
The double.
It's going to be a Premier League, Champions League double.
I mean, just that, Just that. Keep your FA Cup. I want a Carabao Cup, but we can't even field a proper team in that competition. But now on to title rivals. People were saying Tottenham a title rival. I don't think so. So if you had to pick the teams who are going to be in and about with Manchester City this season, who are they? I think this is an obvious 2, surely.
Yeah, Arsenal and bloody Liverpool. I can imagine because it's so injury dependent, and I just feel like Liverpool I think Liverpool are better on their day, and they're better sort of now, but they are defensively.
It's just chaos.
They're leaking a bit more. It's not like they're winning sort of in a way that and scoring goals in a way that they sort of did before when they were it was us and them. But I feel like defensively it's not, because they were absolutely brilliant previously. I feel like defensively it's not quite the same. Well, I'm looking at, and they have conceded 11 goals.
Ooh.
And Arsenal conceded 10, and we've conceded 13. Oh. So I might be completely wrong there, but it does feel like
that's been skewed by the Chelsea result as well. I feel like there's always one when you look at goal difference and goals against. There's always one result in there that's like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah, some massive 7-0. I say Arsenal Liverpool, but I feel like one bad injury could take Liverpool out. But they might not get it. I'm pretty sure when they won it, or maybe the one before, they just barely had an injury. So I see those two. But I feel like you're not too far. Did you buy many people in the summer? Was it Brennan Johnson?
Brennan Johnson, Vicario, Van der Ven, Maddison, Solomon. I think that's about
okay.
it.
So like 3 sort of major ones, like goalkeeper, centre back, and Maddison. And Brennan Johnson, he's playing a bit more now though, isn't he, because of injuries? But more like he's not going to play every game. I feel like you're doing exactly what you should be right now. Apart from what is it, 3 losses on the trot?
3 losses on the trot, yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. Talking again 4. Next week.
4, 5 against West Ham, 6 against Newcastle, 7 against Forest.
To be able to sort of improve the football this much, to still be in this position, compared to last season, even though maybe you had more points last season technically, but it was going to fall apart. It was dreadful. I think that's a good place to be. Yeah. And then it's a case of getting to next summer and then spending more to then, make the squad a bit more his and more well-rounded.
That's the thing.
And
because we're probably going to get top 4 if we could keep this squad fit. But now, I'd say 5th or 6th is where we should be aiming. Especially if 5th gives us Champions League football this year, which everyone keeps using that as an argument, and I'm like, no one knows. No one knows what UEFA's coefficient is going to be. So now moving on to the game itself, and usually in this fixture, it's been one sort of event that happens, one sort of main talking point, and it's the fact that City play this amazing attacking football and Spurs have a defensive masterclass, usually at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, so might be a bit different now we're at your gaff. But does it give you more ease going into this game that we play more attacking football? I mean, also, and this is what annoys me as well, if we had a fully fit squad, I think we'd be able to give you more of a game. It would have been quite a spectacle, maybe like the Liverpool fixture, which was quite end-to-end. But with the injuries, a lot of Spurs fans, are predicting bloodbaths and whitewashes. So how do you sort of see it changing to fixtures that have gone past us?
I feel like I don't usually go on a limb, and because I don't want to be mugged off, but I decided it's more fun if you go for it. Defensively, we were awful in the midweek. I'm going to say it's going to be we're not doing predictions yet, are we? I'm going to say it will be a bloodbath because I don't think it will represent you. I think it's really a result you'll just have to ignore. But I think the way he played against Chelsea with 9 men, I am begging that you get some people sent off and play like that.
You would pick us off like a sniper. It would be.
I'm convinced he would have to change. He couldn't be he would have to be okay, I can't do this. This is going to be 12. Because I couldn't believe that. It almost got 2-2. So it almost worked. But yeah, when you concede, then you go forward even more in desperation, and then you concede again. I think it's going to be a more relaxing game for people like myself.
We've watched these fixtures together, and you've been like a nervous wreck, and I'm just sitting there going, "This is daylight robbery. This is daylight robbery."
Well, there's sort of 3 types of teams we always come up against in the Premier League, and I can just sort of guess from the fixture. So if it's a team down the bottom, they're gonna just sit in and defend. They're probably not going to try and play football, which I probably wouldn't either. So I don't begrudge anyone doing that. If you do a low block or whatever it's called, be my guest. That's absolutely fine. Win the game how you want, or draw. If it's against a Manchester United, they're sitting at the back as well, but they're way better on the counter-attack, and that's how they'll score. And that's how you used to play. So I used to look at you and United at the same way. I'm like, we should win, and we could win 5-0, or we could lose 2-0. But I don't think that's the case this time. I'm sort of... Usually when we come up against a team who essentially try and play similar football to us, unless you're the quality of like Liverpool, which isn't similar football, but still they want possession. I feel like just because we have the far superior quality all round, that we will come through and win relatively comfortably. And
then that moves us on to predictions then. How do you see it going in score terms?
I'm going to go 5-1.
Oh, God. At least we get one. Oh,
yeah, because I still got that big old doubt, because just defensively we were so bad when I watched us on a Tuesday that
I thought you were like, even against obviously Chelsea as well, and even against Liverpool. I've never seen you. I've seen you play in second gear, but I've never seen you take your foot off the gas. This is more car references than I thought I'd be saying. But it was really like, I'm sort of sitting there watching it, going, "Why?" And you were there obviously at the stadium, and I'm sitting there going, "Why aren't you like, you've got the momentum in the game and you're just sort of bopping it around and not really doing much with it?" And then it gave Liverpool, the incentive to sort of go for it even more, which was very confusing. But I think it will be... I'm going to go 3-0, because I feel like you'll just like whitewash us in one of the halves. I think we'll give you a fight in the first 20 minutes, which is how we seem to play games at the moment. We come out the blocks first 20 minutes, but then we sort of fall away. So, yeah, I think 3-0. I don't see us getting a goal. I don't see us, really getting anything out of it at all. We just need to get these fixtures out of the way, I think.
I think Ange is going to go for it. I think he's going to just be like, yeah, let's do what we do. Let's just go for it. Let's either die dramatically, but in a way that we want to.
Honestly, I'd love to just see him in the changing room at half time if we're like 3-0 down, just being like, just carry on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Do you know what it's like? It's the equivalent of the Spartans in the 300 War against the Persians. They know they're outnumbered, but they're like, just keep attacking, don't withdraw, just keep going. And like, we're going to get annihilated. And it's like, no, come on, you'll be heroes. Everyone's going to love you. And then
What number would you have to concede that you think he would go, okay, just damage limitation?
I
guess it depends how quick as well. If it was like that Newcastle game, you'd have to. But
yeah. So the funny thing is, we go 3-0 down. He's like, now start sitting back. And it's like, well, the damage is done, isn't it? 3 or 4. I don't know. Because he won't change his tactics. But then there's part of me that goes, why would he want to change? Do you know what I mean? Like, if it sort of does work to an extent. I mean, you could probably just say the problem we have is one game is weird because the Chelsea game is what it is. We're down to 9 men, and it was still a good example of like actually it could work. Wolves, bit different. It was 2-1. They won in the last minute. We were playing with some Eric Dyer, so it was awful. And then you have the Villa game.
With Eric Dyer again.
Hopefully no. It'll be probably Emerson and Ben Davis as centre backs, a whole back four of full backs.
Emerson and Ben Davis as centre backs.
Yeah, but they were all right against Villa. Like they were better on the ball, but literally Villa had 2 chances and scored 2 goals. So it does show you that.
Oh, brother!
Like we struggle against these teams now. Proper. I don't want to say Villa sit back, but you know how Emery plays football. He's like a bit of a master of like just being potent when he needs to be. And we had so many chances up there, and we were offside so many times. Son's become the new Darwin Núñez, but yeah, it's really hard to see. It's just going to be one of those games where I'm just going to have to sit through it, and you never know what could happen with Ange Ball. Like somehow we could be 1-0 up. It's like the game last year at your place. We were 2-0 up at half time, and I was sitting there going like, fantastic, what a game, and then we lost 4-2, and I was just like, what have I just watching Tottenham is an experience and a half, honestly, as you've known from living with me for the last couple of years.
Yes.
But anyway, I think we'll leave it there with our little preview and predictions. Obviously, you can go and check out Ciaran on his football channel, which is, usually him slating Tottenham kits over there, and his main channel where I've become a little bit of a side character, haven't I? So that's quite enjoyable. But yeah, go over to Ciaran, like and subscribe on his videos. And same here, like and subscribe to Sunny Talk Spurs if you love your Tottenham content. I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys probably after the game, where I'll be in tears or somehow be like, I don't know how I feel after this game, because that's how I sort of outro them at the moment. So anyway, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.